Get a bow. Get a bow. Woo! Get a bow. Get a bow. Hey guys. Hey, what is up, all my lonely watchers out there? I hope you're having a fantastic day on whatever day this is. I'm filming so far ahead that I don't know when this is posted. But if you guys want this video to be extremely dated, I will check the date right now and tell you that it is August 15th. So, I wonder how far this is out this is gonna be. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, with that being said, Yokai Watch is an incredible franchise which was at least given a chance in the West. Yeah, it did well for a few years, but after a bit it wasn't looking so hot. But they did really try to localize Yokai Watch. Bring over the manga, the game, the toy, the movies, and even the anime. Now the anime is just so good, and I think the localization is okay. Look, they tried to make it like too overtly American, and I don't really like what they did with that because it was clearly a very culturally inspired thing. But I think the dub was pretty alright, all things considered. I'm pretty sure that's one of the contributing factors as to why Yokai Watch didn't really do as well here. But, we don't talk about that. I'm overlook that for the sake of this. So there's no better thing to do than to go back and look at the first ever episode that aired on Disney XD. I'll leave links in the description to the English language version on YouTube. You can watch it there. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure there are other language versions if you prefer it to be in a different language. So, let's get to it. First of all, we get this teaser of this kid opening this gacha machine capsule and out popping a ghost, until we are immediately thrust into Gara Po! Yes! This is something I wish we saw more often! Localized versions of the Japanese songs and not just Swampy Marsh! Gara Po I absolutely love. I love this theme, except for this English language version, which is overtly American.
There's more yokai than taters in Idaho, like cheese squeak in his po-po!
This is a thing, they were trying to make it too American to make it more relatable, but at that point they just ended up making it worse. Like, you get trying to localize it to seem more in tune with the region that it's in, but if it's so overtly Japanese, like, why even bother? Now, they didn't do this for long before they pretty much switched over exclusively to Dropping Marsh, when the Yokai Watch anime had like 10 openings and we got like one of them. And other countries, like I believe France and even Spanish, got the newer openings. But, you know, not in America. Then we are brought to the most famous story in Yokai Watch history, considering it's how most of the major things start off. Like the anime, and the game, and the manga, and your soul. We're trying to catch rare bugs for a school project before summer ends. We end up getting told off by our friends and being told by Fumi-chan that we're average. So we go enough force to try and find some rare bugs until we find this gacha machine asking us to feed it. We end up doing that, and out pops this whatever. This is Whisper. He's the butler yokai, who is one of those know-it-all yokai. You know, that feels like they know everything, even though they have to look it up on our yokai pad. Usepion later ends up using a yokai pad, or at least he admits that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Either way, this character is just so lovable, and I love the dynamic between these two from the very start. It just seems so Keita of him. In the Japanese version, I feel like he's a bit too nice, but I feel like I love the level of edge here between the characters in the English language version, especially in the anime, because in the game, Keita is way too nice and understanding about the whole thing, and, you know, when most people would be generally concerned and confused. Anyway, they end up going home later that night to realize that Keita's parents are arguing. Why are they arguing? Yokai is why! It ends up being Gonyorin, or Desmeralda, who is inspiriting both of them and making them argue about yogurt. Yes, it's yogurt, not yogurt. Fight me. Anyway, Whisper says, you know, his classic line that they can only be met with negotiation or confrontation. You know, so Whisper ends up trying to negotiate really badly, and it doesn't end up working until Nate does. But Whisper at least in this version. In the manga, it ends up being Jibanyan, but Whisper in this version brings Happy-Air, which happens to be Desmeralda's husband, or Honobono. Anyway, since he's a happy yokai and she's a sad yokai, the two emotions cancel each other out, get his parents' makeup, and he becomes friends with both of them. This is where we truly get to see how yokai can influence people's lives. Even if it's in very small ways, I think this is a very clever way to relate it without being too overtly kiddie or dumb or talking down to the watcher, even if you're older. And then the next part of this episode is where we are at this intersection where it is supposedly haunted because cars keep nearly hitting people at this intersection. We end up doing some investigating with our yokai watch, scanning to see where this hidden monster is, where it turns out to be just this lovable street cat named Jibanyan who inspires people so that he can beat cars. We're the first person to ever see him, and he ends up telling the backstory of why he wants to beat cars, because apparently his previous owner, Amy-chan, or Amy, called him lame after he got ran over by a truck. Jibanyan, not seeing how cruel she is, still wants to please her and keep her from thinking that in the future. So he used people to inspire her to fight the cars. But then we end up talking him out of his ways, and then he does it on his own until he cries and leaves off before we offer to be the one that he inspires to use for practice. And then that's how we befriend him. He gets ran over. Episode end. We get the Yokai Watch exercise song, which I feel like was a pretty decent localization actually, and it works good as an outro. And then we get the yokai recap, talking about the yokai that we befriended today, and this one is generally pretty basic because this is the first episode, but that ends up being it. Either way, this is a great episode. It shows some darker tones with Jibanyan, and then some lighter, more mischievous things with the first story. And it's just a good opener to this new world, the world of yokai, and I think it did it better than the manga did, honestly. But let me know, what do you think? Which variation of the story do you think is better, or did you even like the original Yokai Watch anime? Have you not seen it yet? If not, watch in the description below. If you don't watch, I will murder you! Okay, maybe not that. But anyway, if you like this video, like and subscribe, and if there's any other videos you'd like me to do, let me know in the comments below. See you next time. Bye bye, my lonely watchers.